Lewis Hamilton recently made a choice that sent shockwaves across the whole Ferrari team. A brave, unexpected move that has Fred Vasseur reeling and Charles Leclerc truly startled. This choice could have major implications for Ferrari in 2025, but also beyond. Could we see Ferrari changing completely in the coming months? After months of frustration, wasted opportunities, and seeing the championship slip away, Hamilton has done something no Ferrari driver has ever attempted in the midst of a season. He's urged the team to pull the plug, to quit fighting a lost battle with the SF25, and instead devote all emphasis and resources to Ferrari's next big hope, the 2026 project. This is hardly a subtle suggestion. This is not something spoken behind closed doors. Hamilton made it public, and that alone conveys a strong message. He no longer believes the SF25 can be repaired. Despite all of the changes, promises, and effort, Ferrari's current model is essentially defective. What's more surprising is the timing. We're not at the end of the season, we're just starting the summer run, with important races like Canada, Silverstone, and Spa still to come. However, Hamilton, the 7-time world champion who was supposed to spearhead Ferrari's recovery, is already looking ahead. He is already encouraging the team to shift gears and leave 2025 behind. This decision has the potential to disrupt Ferrari's internal balance. It puts pressure on Vasseur to make a decision that will define his leadership. It weakens modest confidence that the SF25 can still be saved. It raises serious questions about how this may affect team cohesiveness, development plan, and the pecking order within the Scuderia in the future. Because when a driver as articulate as Hamilton comments, it is never just a statement. It's a declaration of intent, a call for change, and a sign that something inside Maranello is about to burst open. The reasons for this choice go far beyond a miserable weekend or a disappointing racing result. Since joining Ferrari, Hamilton has encountered an array of technical issues, misunderstanding on the pit wall, and a car that simply refuses to conform to his preferences. The SF25 was intended to be Ferrari's next step forward, a car with the mechanical grip and aerodynamic efficiency of Red Bull and McLaren. However, it has shown to be volatile, unpredictable, and, worst of all, limited in its development potential. Warning signs were there from the start of the 2025 racing season. Hamilton's speed vanished in crucial moments in Australia. In China, a technical instruction and ride height issue resulted in a humiliating disqualification, the low point of his sprint victory celebration. In Spain, he was passed by a Sauber, and in Monaco, a malfunction in GPS connectivity during qualifying resulted in him being penalized and eliminated from contention before the race even began. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a fundamental issue in Ferrari's current vehicle. Hamilton understands this. Ferrari now trails McLaren by about 200 points in the Manufacturers' Championship, and the numbers speak for themselves. Leclerc has won all 3 of Ferrari's podium finishes. Hamilton, despite spurts of brilliance, is 6th in the driver standings, 23 points behind any significant competition. The SF25, with its high sensitivity and inconsistent balance, has become a burden rather than a weapon. And Hamilton, the guy sent in to help Ferrari become title contenders, has hit his limit. That's why he's advocating for a total reset, a change in attention to 2026 and Project 678, the car created under the revolutionary new laws that would alter the sport. Active aerodynamics, 50% electrification, and completely sustainable fuels. A new era of Formula One necessitates all hands on deck immediately. Hamilton does not simply want to be a part of it. He wants Ferrari to create a future around him. What makes this so seismic is that Ferrari had previously opposed such a turnaround. Fred Vasseur had believed that the SF25 could still be improved, that modifications to the floor and rear suspension could unlock the car's full potential. But Hamilton's public comment has thrown a hitch in that plan, because when your star driver, your £50 million investment, says, "Let's move on," the executives tend to listen. Suddenly, sticking with 2025 is not a technical decision, but a political one, a leadership test. Then there's Leclerc, who, while cautious, remained optimistic about the team's upgrading route. Barcelona, he said, marked a watershed moment. He wanted to wait for the next round of updates before making any final decisions. However, Hamilton's drive presses the issue. It calls into question the garage's fundamental unity. Will Ferrari now split their focus, half-heartedly updating the SF25 while also developing the 2026 chassis? Will they follow Hamilton's lead and commit all to the future? Behind closed doors, the effects are already being felt. According to Maranello sources, wind tunnel time is transferring to Project 678. Internal simulations are being rerouted. The rear suspension modification, which was previously the focal point of Ferrari's mid-season drive, may now be the SF25's final substantial alteration. The lights aren't turned off yet, but Hamilton has begun dimming them. And everyone inside Ferrari understands what this entails, because Hamilton isn't just defending himself. This is a strategic play, a signal that if Ferrari wants to win in 2026, they must begin creating that future now. Not in November. Not after Abu Dhabi. But now. It's a message to engineers, designers, and managers. Give me the car I deserve or watch me fight with one hand tied behind my back. And the time is critical. With the new laws looming, every week of development is crucial. Mercedes, Red Bull, Honda, Porsche, and Audi are all discreetly developing their 2026 powertrains and chassis. If Ferrari waits too long, it risks falling behind when the grid is reshuffled. Hamilton's decision is not only brave, it could be the one thing that keeps Ferrari in the game as the new age begins. But there is a cost. Abandoning 2025 now implies publicly accepting defeat. It means allowing McLaren to dominate the field. For the rest of the year, Hamilton and Leclerc will race for data rather than glory, for preparing, in the hopes that whatever comes next would ultimately provide the crown that both drivers desire. That is why this is more than just a strategic move. It's a gamble, a high-stakes bet that Ferrari's next project, Project 678, would be the game-changer. And Hamilton, with all of his experience, instinct, and racing expertise, is compelling them to place the bet right now. And, just maybe, that's the leadership Ferrari has been looking for. So the question is no longer whether Ferrari will adjust its focus. So what happens next? Will Hamilton's courageous call start the change that this squad sorely requires? Or will it disrupt the delicate equilibrium within Maranello, putting additional strain on an already precarious partnership? Because make no mistake, this is a watershed event in Ferrari's modern history. Not only was it a watershed moment in a poor season, but it also marked a turning point in how the squad handles pressure, expectation, and reality. Do they hold on to a defective concept in the hope of a miracle? Or will they listen to the most decorated driver in F1 history and shape the future around him? If Hamilton's decision drives Ferrari to completely commit to 2026, to experiment freely and aggressively, it may be remembered as the moment when the project was salvaged. However, if it causes hesitancy, doubt, or division, it could disintegrate faster than anyone expected. Leclerc has made it obvious that they are not ready to give up on 2025. But Hamilton? He is already thinking ahead. And that difference in mindset, in leadership, could well define the next chapter in Ferrari's history. But could it also have other implications? Could we see Vasseur, or even Leclerc, leaving due to the change in leadership within Ferrari? Share your opinions in the comments. Is Lewis Hamilton making the correct decision? Or is it too soon to abandon the season? Because one thing is for sure, if this gamble pays off, it will not just affect Hamilton's future, it might redefine Ferrari's legacy.